Before we start with the video, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you even subscribe for any upcoming new videos. Thanks for sitting at my table. We're going to dive into a situation that happened this past weekend. Yup. We're talking about the Jim West situation. We're talking about how coaching is supposed to be done. All of a sudden now, you can't yell at your fighters. All of a sudden now, you can't scream at them when they're doing something wrong. All of a sudden now, everybody is so sensitive about how they should be spoken to. I mean, I remember back in the days, coaches used to yell at their players, at their fighters, at any type of athlete that weren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, especially when the coaches themselves know their true potential of what they're capable of. Listen, we're outside looking in. That coach and that fighter has a special relationship that none of us will ever understand. So when people are chiming in and saying he shouldn't have been speaking to her that way, or a coach shouldn't be speaking to a player that way, unless obviously is very, very verbally abusive, then I understand. But what we experienced this past weekend with Jim West and Aspen is totally uncalled for. There's no reason he should have apologized for what he did that night, the way Lad performed. What am I talking about? Let's dive in. Sorry about that. Talking about this situation right here, okay? Let's start it up. And you tell me, what do you see wrong here?
You're kind of standing in that no man's land, okay? Lead with your backside, not your front side, because she's trying to counter you with the right hand.
And
okay?
commit with those double jabs to close the distance. That's what the jabs are there for, to close the distance.
Start with the backside. Start looking for your runs, but start with the backside, then finish, okay? That'll get you in close enough to her legs, okay? To where you want to be anyway, okay?
Obviously, there was nothing wrong there. Nothing wrong there. Obviously, he wasn't frustrated there, because you got to understand, a coach is also going to be as frustrated as the fighter. I understand the fighter is in the octagon, in the ring, or whatever the case may be. But when the coach is basically experiencing, watching you perform, basically underperform because he knows your true potential, that can get extremely frustrating. And that's what West was experiencing with Lad. She did not perform at all that night. She was not fighting back. Let's go to the next round, what he was saying to her.
Now this gets real. You're f***ing around, okay? You gotta fight. You're down 2-0 now. You gotta fight. You gotta change the pace, and it's gotta be quick. That doesn't mean careless, but you gotta pick up the pace. You're throwing one shot at a time, and she's just sitting there on the outside waiting to counter you. You got to mix it up. You got to throw more than one.
3, and then you have to bust. You have to be solid on those double jabs.
And look to come underneath. She's jabbing you to death. Come underneath it. Shoot to a single. Create something. But you've got to come behind more than one. Okay? Start from the backside. Here, she's going to peel that side and throw the run, but then get in her on her legs and make her carry you. We got to start making her carry you. Right now, she's in a sparring match that she's not tired.
Big shot and go.
That doesn't mean careless. That means pick up the pace.
Nothing wrong with what he said there either. He was starting to get frustrated. Her opponent wasn't getting tired. She was not giving her anything to work with. She was not keeping her opponent guessing. She was throwing a jab and backing up. Throwing a jab, backing up. Not throwing a jab, not even counter punching. She was just throwing a jab and backing up. That's all she was doing in that fight. She was not fighting whatsoever. She wasn't even following behind the jab she was throwing, whether it was a right or a left. She wasn't following with any type of combinations. If you've seen that fight, you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll know what Jim West was complaining about. So he was getting frustrated. So far, there's nothing wrong with what he said. Let's continue to the next.
You're down 3-0. Please tell me what you're doing. You have to throw more than one punch. You got to get into the fight. It's time to fight. It's the 4th round. You're down 3-0. Pick it up. Okay? Fight to win. Fight to win every second of every minute of every round. You have to finish this broad now. If you're down 3-0, you got to pick it up. That doesn't mean be careless, but lead from the backside and set the combinations up and change your levels. Continue to try to wear her down, but if you don't pick up the pace, she's going to continue to stay on the outside and try to pick you apart with the simple 1-2. Okay, that's all she's
no
doing.
More single shots, no more. You have to compress with those double jabs. All right, you have to close the distance. Don't follow her. Don't follow. And freeze every time.
You've got to pick it up.
You
got to win. You have to finish her now. You're down 3-0.
Let's go.
Doesn't mean careless. Pick.
Once again, what is he saying wrong? He's saying, wait a minute, like, what the hell are you doing out there? Like, what the hell are you doing? What is he supposed to say? Sweetie, what are you doing? Sweetie, you're better than that. Come on, sweetie. You're better than that. Or, come on, one more for the home team. Why are people so sensitive? There's a special saying. Your closest friends will be brutally honest with you. The coach that you want is someone that will be brutally honest with you. I'd rather have a coach that would tell me, you fought like a pansy out there. You fought like a bitch out there. Than someone who's going to try to coddle me and hold me close to make me feel better. And then you got Misha Tate chiming in on Twitter saying, calling Jim West names and etc., saying, what a douche. Like, really? Really? Really, Misha Tate? Maybe somebody should have spoken to you that night when you fought Amanda Nunes, huh? Because you weren't fighting back after you got that one punch from Amanda Nunes in the end of the first round. After that, you weren't really fighting. So maybe a coach should have spoken to you that way. I mean, I got my respect for Misha Tate. I love Cupcake. But she was wrong. She was wrong by calling Jim West a douchebag. He's not a douchebag. He knows his fighter, the special relationship that they have. They're the only ones that can understand it. He knows what she needed to hear that night. And she wasn't doing it. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't trying to win the fight. She was scared. She was fighting skittish. Period. What is he supposed to say? Daniel Cormier said exactly what I wanted to hear. He said, what do you want coaches to say out there? Sometimes you gotta be spoken to in that way. Everybody needs to take off their damn diapers. Let's go to the next.
Pick it up though. You've already closed the distance. Hey, I don't know what you're doing. You close the distance and you're jumping out.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're waiting for. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You have cardio through the days. Push the pace.
Now you have to.
No, you have to. You have to go balls to the wall. Caution to the wind, and you gotta go. You're down basically 4-0. You may have won that last round. Either way, you have to finish it. So I don't know what you're doing. You gotta leave every ounce of you out there. You just around for 3 rounds. Now you're down 3-1. Maybe. You gotta pick it up. You gotta let it all go. Let it go. But don't lead from this side. Throw the power shot. Sit on your
backside go, double foot.
Smile.
What is he? What else is he supposed to say? This pisses me off. Like, what else is he supposed to say? You hear how she's breathing? And you hear how Norma is breathing? You hear that? Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back.
power shot. Sit on your
backside go, double foot.
Smiles from Juman and knees to the body.
from this side. Throw the power up. You gotta let air 3-1. Maybe. There. You just
Look how
around for
she's
3
breathing.
rounds. Now you're down 3-1. Maybe. You
Look
gotta
at
pick it up.
look at
You gotta
Norma. Norma is not even breathing hard. Wes knew what he was talking about. Wes is like, what are you doing? You're not even making Norma work. If you, for the people who saw the fight, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what Jim West was talking about. She wasn't making Norma work at all. Norma was on the beach in the octagon, on the beach in the octagon. She was in Jamaica. She was drinking a Mai Tai in the octagon. That's how comfortable she was in the octagon. Because Aspen wasn't letting her work. She wasn't making her work. She wasn't even fighting her. She was throwing one punch and backing up. Throwing one punch and backing up. Norma pushing her, and she wasn't pushing back. She wasn't even countering. She wasn't doing none of that. What do you want Jim West to do? People, what do you want Jim West to do? No, Misha Tate, what do you want Jim West to say? What do you want him to say? When you see your fighter, listen. When you see your fighter in that situation, the coach themselves are going to get frustrated. They're going to get frustrated. Because it's almost like you're in the octagon with your fighter. The coaches are going through the same scenario. They go through the same frustration. Because they're in the octagon with that fighter. They feel every blow. I don't want to bring up Rocky. I know everybody's going to say, oh, it's just a movie. But you think, you look how Mick was talking to Rocky in that movie. Because every movie is based on reality. And that's what actually happens with a lot of coaches, the way they talk to their fighters. And Rocky, Mick was not playing. Mick was calling Rocky a bum. He was basically calling him a bum. Basically, fight back. Put your hands up. He was calling him a bum a lot of times because he knew that could get to Rocky. I don't mean to bring up a movie, but let's face it, movies are based on reality, isn't it? I mean, we live in a generation of sensitive assholes, man. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done with my rant. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know let me know what you think Jim West should have said. Should he spoken to her better? Is the way he spoke to her the best way because he knows his fighter? Let me know down in the comments. This is Black Shy Guy. Thanks for sitting on my table. I'm out of here. Peace.